Hey, it's Mel from RAP Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all of the other episodes, check the link in the description, stop by raprankings.com, or search RAP Rankings on your favorite podcast platform. And please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting to help us grow the channel and continue our journey as hip-hop's first and premier extreme podcast. Track 2, Talkin to Myself, featuring Kobe, I guess Honeycutt, because, you know, there's only one real Kobe, and it's Bryant.
Kobe Honey. Okay.
Produced by DJ Khalil. 7-.
6+. We just swapped.
We did. This is one that I guess thankfully held up. I want to be clear up top. It is not a good chorus. It's like the beat's not incredible, but I'm a big...
Hold on. I disagree.
What's that?
The chorus, okay. I think I like the beat. It's not necessarily like the type of beat I expect to or maybe want to hear Eminem on, but that's not my issue. Now here's the chorus to me. First, who the fuck is Kobe? Okay.
I know the Kobe Bryant feature on the Trackmasters remix of the Brian McKnight song.
This is not the Trackmasters remix.
In '98, okay? It's not. It's just some fake Kobe.
I don't know who the fuck this is. It's kind of
Interscope Studio Dungeon, no character, no presence. Maudlin
it's Bondulu is what it is. Okay,
label sweatshop music. We know.
I'm not sure if that's the case or if he's like one of DJ Khalil's guys, but.
Look, bringing in a nobody to do the chorus is a trademark of the washed Eminem era. You know?
This is how I feel about the chorus. I feel like if this is someone else's song, I would not give this chorus a second thought. Like if this is like a Royce da 5'9" song, or maybe even like an Untitled era Nas song, I wouldn't think anything of this chorus whatsoever. But this is like not a chorus I expect to hear on an Eminem album. It's the first thing that kind of toes the line for me of recovery core, which I'll keep bringing up throughout this review. I would say this song is not unbridled recovery core, but that element, like, this is not an Eminem chorus.
But it would become an Eminem chorus going forward.
Yes. It's just, I'm trying to reconcile with, like, up until this point, like how I was feeling at the time when I heard this. What the fuck is this, right?
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. My issue is ultimately Eminem. And not how he's rapping on this song, but the content and his attitude on the record. You know, them last 2 albums didn't count. Encore, I was on drugs. Relapse, I was flushing them out. I am a relapse mark, bro. I don't understand the hatred of that album. It's the Eminem album with the most Dr. Dre beats ever. And on that front, it's also a reference quality mix by Dre. It's the Eminem album with arguably his most technically impressive rapping ever. Even if, let's say, the subject matter, the accent, the overall horrorcore aesthetic were maybe not most people's cup of tea. The fact remains. So a song where he's making excuses for albums that are both better than this one and talking about like tabloid rap blog fodder, like who he was going to diss when he was on drugs. I'm just not on board for this kind of heavy-handed, self-pitying nonsense from him.
I just want to add to what you said about like Relapse being the most, what do you say, technically impressive.
From a rhyming standpoint.
Right. Well, I just want to say, like, people might hear that and be like, well, what about Rap God? No, that leans over into masturbatory.
Yeah, that's too much. You
know, like, yeah, it's technically impressive, but is it enjoyable to listen to?
I'm talking about, like technical, but not like overdoing it. Like if you listen to Talkin, I'm not talking about that kind of like, I don't do that. I don't listen to that.
Oh, shit. Well, here's the thing. I expect you to say what you said about that. And it's totally valid. Because here's the thing. I had to ask myself, I've always liked the song, but it's like, I don't know. I'm going to have to, it's rap rankings. I got to know what I feel. But it stood the test of time. Because here's the thing. The beat, I made a note. There are beats that out there that like I wouldn't want to rap on as a rapper, but I don't mind listening to other rappers rap on. This is one of those beats. Like I would
just rather hear, I don't know, Nas, Royce, as I mentioned earlier, Fonte, someone else over this beat.
Okay. I'm a big fan of that clap. You know what I mean when I say big clap reintervention.
I actually like the guitar in this. It's
good.
Like, I'm not always the biggest fan of guitar in a beat, but it works out well here.
It still, though, we're on track 2. It still feels like people making a bunch of like fake Dre or Dre adjacent beats for him. Like Just Blaze did it on track 1. This has like Dre-ish elements.
This sounds nothing like Dre to me.
The clap is Dre.
I mean, Khalil is a Dre understudy. He ghost produced a bunch of beats for Dre. But nevertheless, this sounds more in tune with just music at the time. And that's one thing about this album is like, we noted in the background info, it's the first time he brought a bunch of different producers on board instead of just the in-house crew.
Yeah.
And this is maybe the first beat on the album. We're already just in track 2, but it sounds like a bunch of other mainstream major label rappers could have had this song instead. Like, this could have been a fabulous song. Same chorus, same beat.
Here's the thing. I just remembered. That wasn't in my notes because we actually just had this conversation in the DMs like earlier today. Yeah, I was talking to Cam as like the father, and he was listening to it, and he was like, the mixes on this album are not up to the standards that they usually are. And I forgot to point it out in track 1. I agree because I remember when I pressed play on this album back in 2010, in my bedroom with the beats on, I thought my beats were broken because there was like this muddiness and it was kind of like this distant sort of nature to the vocals on like track 1. And it's like, it's not shitty, but it's not what it had been.
There's a couple tracks on here. Track 4, Won't Back Down.
Yeah, that's another one.
Has a really rough mix. And
Almost Famous is another one where it's just like, all right, bro. Like,
yeah, I wrote this and Won't Back Down are probably the worst mixed songs on the album for Almost Famous, track 14.
Yeah, but this one's fine. I just wanted to remember to say that about the mixes.
Eminem at the beginning of Cold Wind Blows before the beat comes in. Oof.
There's like a crunchiness to it, it's yeah.
It's on every copy that I've heard.
Yeah. It's not as bad as like the Blueprint 3 blown out mixes, but yeah.
No, but those albums are, I'm telling you, like, I just associate, even though they're from different years, Blueprint 3 is 09. This is 2010.
It's close enough. It's just the year before,
It's just in that, like, keep in mind, Not Afraid and Empire State of Mind were being played on the radio at the same time.
Right, I mean, Cam had said this is probably like peak loudness wars, so.
Nas was right, but he was just a couple years too early with that Black Rose, okay?
Yeah, here's the thing, man. What this comes down to, and this should be no surprise to you, I'm Diary Rap Mel, and although Diary Rap Eminem is what we would get from this point onward, it doesn't always land because he raps on atrocious shit or he's doing the technically masturbatory delivery. But for the most part, give me a good beat and slow down with the flow and it'll probably work because I'm always going to be here for niggas being candid and revealing and introspective for them, So, and there's the thing about the chorus. It's cheesy, but it's one of the songs that stuck in my head despite me not really listening to it for years. And it's not so much a catchy way, it's a mocking way. Like sometimes, like over the past 14 years, I'll just be like, feels like I'm talking to myself. Because I'm like, okay. But it's saved by the fact that despite me mocking it, I do agree with it in sentiment. I'm emotional. I'm emo Mel, so I feel like that. But the problem is we would get this like, so why in the world do I feel so alone? Nobody but me. I'm on my own. It's like, okay, all right. That's not the Eminem we got prior to this, but we would continue to get it up until 2024 to different degrees of success. But you talk about like that tabloid blog fodder. I remember that like, I almost dissed Wayne and Kanye thing being like a big news story. I will correct you though, Eminem. He's like, I'd have had my ass handed to me and I knew it. Yeah, maybe by Wayne because he was in better shape, but even drug-addled Eminem is not losing to Kanye in a rap battle. That's not
Kanye's
happening.
never been in a rap battle.
Right, exactly. He's been in like beefs, but not a rap battle.
He battled Common on the radio in like the late 90s in Chicago. And Common whooped his ass.
Of course.
And he had a sales battle with 50 Cent, which has been detailed in our Curtis review. We know who really won.
Right.
And
he had like a weird like love-hate battle with Drake, obviously, but that
but he wasn't making
Drake.
He wasn't making Drake diss records,
right?
And responding and like going back and forth with Drake the way we just saw like Drake and Kendrick beef with each other.
Right. The most he put forth is like, calm down, you light skin. That's like all we got. Like he doesn't do diss records,
Well, I guess they'll like that remix.
Oh, yeah, I guess.
Yo, Dad, I got you.
Well, yeah, we know about that. He's washed as fuck. He's a Nazi who huffs galaxy gas, okay? Fuck out of here, nigga. That's why it became a meme. Yeah, yo, Dot, I got you, a.k.a. like, we don't need you around. Your services are not needed, But, yeah, I mean, look, Eminem, there's a cheesiness, but, I appreciate him being transparent and honest with himself about what was going on. It's like, yeah, he was jealous and not in a good space, so he was trying to, diss to get his heat back. Like, he should
have dissed Kanye, and you know what? That could have really changed things for that 9/11/07.
Maybe, but yeah, I mean, verse 2, he's like, Marshall, you're no longer the man. That's a bitter pill to swallow. He's wallowing, self-loathing, and hollow. Bottoms up on the pill bottle. Maybe I'll hit my bottom tomorrow. That's real. Have you ever, been an emo person? You don't know where the bottom is. You just want to hit it because it feels like you can't find it. Because the sooner you hit that, the sooner you can climb back up. He's, all these other rappers suck is all that I know. I've turned into a hater. I put up a false bravado, but Marshall is not an egomaniac. That's not his motto. He's not a desperado. He's desperate. Like, I like all that. I pop for falling asleep with writer's block in the parking lot of McDonald's. Oh, McDonald's. Okay. I like the McDonald's mention. But listen, real lifestyle, I'm happy he got himself together. But too many of these songs, it's like, okay, bro. It's starting to feel very, like, cloying, And yeah, the line is like, Encore, I was on drugs. Relapse, I was flushing them out. It's different. Them last 2 albums didn't count. No, that's not how this works. Especially if you're going to keep apologizing for each subsequent one. Maybe if he had stopped here, but it's like, oh no, sorry, Kamikaze wasn't it. I'm really back now. It's like, look, later on in the album, we're going to get the famous Moulz Mel meme. It's coming up, that last Relapse album. But this isn't even the only line like this on the album.
No,
saying you think...
There's like at least 3 different songs where he apologizes for Relapse.
Right. It's like, okay, bro, enough. And it's like saying
a better album
is bad.
A better album.
Yeah, it's better. It's better.
Imagine apologizing for a better album
because the response got in your head. The critical and, fan response.
You let the marks dictate your moves.
Right. Don't do that. Now you've worked yourself into a shoot where all your albums have to sound like this, But saying you think a work is bad is always risky, but you doing it multiple times on the same album. And then you have to have that conversation, though, where it's like, oh, the artist was, quote, better when they were suffering. Point to like Wayne during his run when he was on lean, Chance the rapper pre-marriage and when he was on acid, and like, oh, Eminem on drugs. I don't support that argument.
This is our first review we've done on Eminem since the death of Slim Shady came out. Mm-hmm. And even that album, The first 2/3, he gives, I guess, the OG fans what they want.
It's the most enjoyable Eminem album since Relapse, to me.
But he still can't help himself.
Yeah.
For the final third of the album.
The fucking song with Jelly Roll and
being recovery core.
Yeah, recovery core. It's like the Skylar Grey of it all, you know, the Kobe of it all. It's just, and I mean, here's the other red flag. It's like, I feel like me again. Let me formally reintroduce myself to you. For those of you who don't know, the new me's back to the old me, and homie, the insistence that he's back to the old him, folks, if you don't know, that's usually a sign they're not back to the old him. Okay, it's a surefire sign. If you have to say it, you're not. You just prove it. Okay, and then we get some homophobia. My life is no longer a movie, but the show ain't over, homos. And then he gets into this like sappy, Weezy, keep your head up. T.I., keep your head up. Kanye, keep your head up. Like, okay, my nigga, like, but you're lucky I like the introspection otherwise.
You didn't diss them.
You know, right. But I guess it's, you know, Wayne was going to jail. Wasn't T.I. in legal trouble at the time? And
I guess Kanye had lost his mom 2 years earlier.
Right. So that's what it's about. I mean, yeah, that's fine. Support your rap brethren, but like, get out of here, okay? Yeah, look, despite all that, I'll allow this fucking song. I get more amusement out of it than I think I should, but the verse 2 and overall honesty inched him over the goal line. So 7-.
The hook is generic, but not bad. Beat is pretty good, but maybe not for Eminem, but I hate what he's doing on here. Not technically, just, you know, like the point of it all. Well, where he stands on here. The attitude he takes towards his catalog.
All right. No, we're not done. We're going to get more of it, but yeah, you want to move on?
Yep.
Hey, it's Mel from Rap Rankings. To hear the full episode this clip comes from and all of the other episodes, check the link in the description, stop by raprankings.com, or search Rap Rankings on your favorite podcast platform. And please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting to help us grow the channel and continue our journey as hip-hop's first and premier extreme podcast.